What's up, guys? My name is Ryan Shirley, and I recently returned from a trip to Rio de Janeiro, and I want to show you my favorite places. So here's my Rio top 5. Rio de Janeiro is one of my all-time favorite cities that I've ever visited. It's home to beautiful beaches, massive granite mountains, and an amazing culture. So my buddy Kyle Huber invited me to come experience Rio's Carnival with American Airlines. They hooked us up with business class seats, which was like a freaking luxury. Felt like a kid again. Took the 10-hour flight from Dallas to Sao Paulo, and then we got on a connecting flight to Rio de Janeiro. Flying in, I couldn't believe the landscape. The mountains and scenery were just absolutely breathtaking. We landed and we took the short drive over to our hotel, and we got all ready to experience Rio. So for our first location, we headed over to the iconic Christ the Redeemer. So this statue is one of Rio's most famous symbols, and you can see it from all parts of the city. It took 9 years to build, and it was finished in 1931. It stands over 125 feet tall, and it's located on top of the Corcovado mountain. So when I was there, I just couldn't believe how big it was. I mean, it was just freaking huge. To get up there, you can take a train, or you can take like a tour van up there. When we were there was no spots on the train, so we took a tour van up to the top. We got up there, and it cost us 47 Brazilian reals to get in, which is like $10 a person. We took up some escalators and made it to the statue. I'm not gonna lie, when I was there, I was overwhelmed by how packed it was. I mean, there was just so many people, and everyone was trying to get a picture in front of the statue. We did go a little later in the day during Carnival season, which is like when there's the most people in Rio, so maybe that's the reason why it was so packed. But if you do go, I definitely recommend going right when it opens in the morning, or maybe try going later in the day. Hopefully there won't be as much people. Anyways, when you're at the statue, you're gonna get a beautiful view of Rio. I mean, it's just such a beautiful city from above. I had a good time getting some 360 shots of my GoPro to get a really unique perspective of the statue. One thing that I thought was pretty cool is there's actually a little church on the backside of the statue where you can go worship. While we were up there, we ran into like the cutest monkey ever. I think it's called a common marmoset. Hope I said that right. It looked like a mixture of a monkey and a raccoon. It was just such a cool little animal. Anyways, the whole statue was just such a cool experience, and it's definitely a must while visiting Rio. Alright, so after the Christ the Redeemer, we waited until nighttime to experience the most crazy party in the world, Rio's Carnival. The carnival happens every year before Lent, and Rio's is the biggest in the world. I mean, there's just millions of people that get involved in this celebration. American Airlines, they got us an amazing lounge with a prime view to watch the madness. We got there around 9 p.m. The parade didn't start about 10, so I made sure to load up on Red Bull because it was going to be a long night. I drank about 4 of them. Anyways, the parade started, and I've never felt more energy from a crowd in my life. Like, it was just such a surreal feeling. Everyone was just singing the songs and just dancing like non-stop. There was just so much power from the crowd. It's just hard to explain. All the floats were so intricate and beautiful, and I was just constantly wondering how in the world these people could make them. I mean, they must prepare like all year long for this one night. I couldn't believe how many people were involved. It was an endless sea of people. Float after float, they just kept coming, and it went all night long until sunset the next day. Around 3 a.m., I was getting pretty tired, and I decided to call it because we were gonna have to film the sunrise the next morning. So we headed back to the hotel. It was just crazy to see everyone in the streets after the madness. I'd have to say Carnival was one of the craziest things I've ever experienced in my life. Everyone should go to Rio at least once to witness it. I mean, it's just the coolest thing ever, and I can't thank American Airlines enough for inviting us to go. It was just so cool. So the next day we headed over to the largest mural graffiti in the world. So it's located near the Plaza Mauá, and the artist Eduardo Cobra made the mural for the 2016 Olympics. Now the mural is over 3,000 square meters, and it depicts individuals from all over the world, from like Ethiopia, Brazil, Thailand, Papua New Guinea, and European Superman. Eduardo wanted to show that we are all one with this mural, so I thought that was a really cool message. It was just a really cool spot, and there was just so much action going on. Everyone was just walking in the streets in their carnival outfits. Me and Kyle did a fun stop motion video against the mural, so that was really fun to make. Definitely give it a visit if you're in Brazil. So after the murals, we're gonna head over to one of Rio's most famous spots, Ipanema Beach. Now, before visiting Brazil, this is what I imagined when I thought of Rio. It's this massive beach that has this incredible view of the Two Brothers Mountains, which I think is just like the coolest mountains. I mean, the beach is full of energy. It's a wonderful place for surfing. They have great waves there. I was able to get some awesome 360 shots with my GoPro Max. I had a good time just walking along the water and seeing everyone enjoying the sun. When I was there, it was the day after Carnival, so there was a post-Carnival block party and everyone was getting crazy in the streets. But I will say, if you do go, just be cautious with your stuff. The beach is infamous for theft, so make sure you just don't leave your stuff unattended. Anyways, Ipanema was just a really cool vibe, and I wish I could have stayed there longer. Definitely give it a visit if you're in Brazil. Alright, so for our last spot, we're going to visit one of Brazil's most beautiful lookouts, Mirante Dona Marta. We were only in Rio for 3 days, so it wasn't a long time. And before I left, I really wanted to get a sunrise over the famous Sugarloaf Mountain. So on our last day, we woke up at 4 a.m. and we drove up to this lookout spot to capture the sunrise. We got there about 30 minutes before the sun came up. I was able to get my camera all ready because I wanted to get a time lapse of the sunrise over the Sugarloaf, over the mountain. The sun rose up and I got one of my all-time favorite time lapses. The sun peaked in between the clouds right above the Sugarloaf Mountain. From the lookout, you can also see the Christ the Redeemer statue. I was able to get some really cool 360 shots, and I also did a classic backflip up top there. If you do plan to visit, just for safety reasons, I'd recommend going a little later. When we went, we did have 3 security guards to make sure everything was safe, so that was comforting. This lookout was just the coolest place, and it was a perfect way to end the trip. I couldn't have asked for a better sunrise. Well, that is it for my Rio De Janeiro video. American Airlines really went the extra mile and made it one of the most memorable trips of my life. Now I just want to go back and see more of the city. Here are a few more places that I wasn't able to visit. I definitely recommend visiting. One is the Pedra de Gávea mountain, and it's this massive granite rock at over 844 meters high, making it one of the world's biggest cliffs that descends into the ocean. It has to be one of the best views of Rio because you're able to see the Two Brothers, the Sugarloaf Mountain, also the Christ the Redeemer, so it's just an amazing spot. I do hear it is a brutal hike, so get ready for that. Another thing I wish I would have done is I wish I would have taken a cable car up to Sugarloaf Mountain. I also wish I would have went paragliding, but I guess I just need to come back and do that. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Rio de Janeiro has a special place in my heart, and I couldn't be more grateful that I could experience the Carnival. Special thanks to Kyle Hubert and American Airlines for being on the trip. It was just one heck of a time. You can find me on Instagram at shirley.films. It's Ryan Shirley, and we will see you later.
Oh, baby, let me show you I need one more chance.